Hi, this video is going to teach you all about commas, how to use them properly in your writing. One of the things you need to know is that the location of the commas in a sentence can completely change the meaning of this sentence. So you need to make sure that you're using them properly. Here's a couple funny samples of that. The first sentence here implies that you want to eat Grandpa versus eating with Grandpa. The second sample implies that you want to cook dogs and not that you like cooking dogs and fishing, all three separately, of course. Another one, I'd rather have the ingredients at the bottom, lettuce, tomato, and goat cheese, versus the ingredients at the top, lettuce, tomato, goat, and cheese. So, what are the rules you need to know? Well, let's look at them. First, anytime you have a series of items, you need to separate them with a comma. In this sample, I like asparagus, comma, corn, comma, and sweet potatoes. Anytime you list something, separate those items with a comma. Rule number 2. Anytime you combine two independent clauses, you need a comma there as well. Remember that an independent clause is a statement that can stand alone by itself as a sentence. If you're combining two independent clauses, then you need a comma and usually a conjunction. Here's some samples of that. Felix does not like spinach, nor does he like broccoli. Felix does not like spinach is an independent clause by itself. He does not like broccoli is an independent clause by itself. Combine them and you need a comma and a conjunction. We are going to the lake again this summer. That should say this, not the, my mistake. But this time we will bring bug spray. Again, comma and a conjunction. In the last example here, Liam has soccer practice and I have a baseball game. Rule number 3, use a comma to set off non-essential elements. Essential means something you absolutely need, just as water is essential to life. Sometimes we add things to sentences that are not needed. Here's an example. She is, as you can probably tell, pretty nervous about public speaking. As you can probably tell, is not needed for the sentence to be grammatically correct. However, it makes your writing more interesting. But the way we separate that non-essential element is by commas here and here. If it goes at the beginning of the sentence, you may only need one sentence. As you can probably tell, comma, she is pretty nervous about public speaking. And one more example. Once upon a time, before television, people read books for fun. Rule number 4, use a comma after an opening clause, word, or phrase. This one is very similar to the one that we did last. Here, as you can see, is not necessary for the sentence to be true, but it makes the writing more interesting. So as you can see, the problem is much bigger than we imagined. Because we've had so much rain this year, construction of the new school was delayed. No, I don't want pineapple on my pizza. Sadly, she has the flu and will have to skip the concert. Mom, did I earn my allowance? Each one is an opening word, clause, or phrase, so therefore we need a comma after that. Rule number 5 is basically a list of some different conventions that we need commas in. I didn't want to make a whole bunch of rules, so I just combined these last few rules together. Anytime you have a place, like a city in a state or a town in a state, you need a comma to separate those two. So the first example is San Francisco, California. The second example, December 26th, 1982. You're separating the day and the year. When you use quotations, when you introduce a quote or you close a quote and then have who said it afterwards, you need a comma. Anytime you introduce somebody, my brother, Drew, knows how to drive. You're introducing a specific person. Anytime you mention their name, you need the commas to separate that. And anytime you add on to an existing sentence. You are going to complete the test, aren't you? The aren't you is an add-on to the sentence, so we need a comma separating that from the core of the sentence. There are more rules to using commas in everyday English. However, these are the big ones you'll see in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. If you have any questions, feel free to talk to your teacher, or you can always look online. There's thousands of resources out there that'll help you with more comma rules. All right, have a great day, and thanks for stopping by.